This is how to always stay motivated. Hi, I'm Coach Tony. And did you know that pain is 3 to 5 times more effective of a motivator than pleasure is? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on today's video for you. Because if you leverage exactly what I recommend in today's video, you will never have to find motivation again. In fact, you're going to build such a self-motivational fire within you that nothing will be able to stop you from reaching your goals. So if that sounds good, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you like this information, and let's jump right in. So there are two main motivators that motivate all us human beings into taking action. One is pleasure and one is pain. Well, one of the most important ideas here is that pain is 3 to 5 times more effective of a motivator than pleasure is. And I'm going to prove it to you. So I want you to imagine that you are on the ledge of a building and you're 100 feet up in the air. And there's a rope that connects to another building, also 100 feet in the air. And there's a bag on the other ledge of the building with $1 million in it. And all you have to do is cross the rope over to that bag with $1 million in it, and it's yours. Well, for some of you, the $1 million is a good enough motivator to cross that rope, right? So the pleasure of getting $1 million is high enough where you will actually cross the rope. Now, what if I were to say the rope is 200 feet long? That increases the pain and the risk involved with getting the $1 million. And so now the pain of crossing that rope is getting higher than the $1 million maybe for some of you. Well, I really want to nail this point home because if you can apply this in your own life, it's going to boost your motivation like never before. So let's replace the bag of $1 million with somebody you love. So imagine your child or somebody you love is on the ledge of the other building and the building is on fire. So we've just increased the urgency and pain of this situation here. Now let me ask you, would you be more inclined to cross the rope to save your loved one versus just getting a bag of $1 million? I want you to pause and reflect about this idea because for a lot of you watching, maybe $1 million just wasn't enough of a pleasure motivator for you, but the thought of losing your loved one and saving them is a much more powerful motivator for you, right? So that little analogy helps you see how pain and pleasure motivate you into action. And it really highlights the fact that the more you increase the pain, the more motivating it's going to be for you to take action. So with that said, let's apply this to your specific goal. So this will apply in all the areas of your life. So let's just say you're trying to lose weight or make more money or build your business or whatever area of life you're trying to increase and progress in. If you've been going after your goal just for the pleasure of achieving it, in other words, let's just say you are trying to lose weight and you're going after it because you're going to look better afterwards. So it's the pleasure of a better body and a more desirable body. Well, that's great. And that is a motivator, but it's not powerful enough for you to get up every day and take action aggressively towards it, the way that pain would aggressively motivate you into action every day. So I hope this is making sense because the pain is going to drive you 3 to 5 times more powerfully. Well, the last idea I want to get into here is what we call your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Like, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to make more money? Why do you want to build your business? Why do you want to go after the goal you're going after? Well, if you can make your why big enough and you use pain as a motivator, you are going to demolish your goals. I have a very powerful next level tip for you. Your why has to be bigger than yourself. In other words, if the reason why you're going after your goal right now is mainly for you, it's going to be much harder to achieve it. Your why has to be bigger than you. In other words, it's got to impact those you love, your friends, your family. So let me explain exactly what I mean. About 8.5 years ago, I was standing in my kitchen in my house, and I was going to grab a handful of soft batch cookies that were sitting on my counter. Well, the thing of it was, I felt like garbage at that time in my life. My health was terrible. I had no energy. I had terrible allergies. I would get sinus infections constantly. In fact, I couldn't even cut up the cardboard in my garage or mow my lawn for more than like 10 minutes before my allergies and nose would blow up and I'd be sneezing and I'd go into like a sneezing fit. And then often it would cause a sinus infection for a week after that happened because I was so inflamed and out of balance in my health at that time in my life. And I really wasn't paying attention to what I was eating and the nutrition I was taking in. In fact, nutritionally speaking, I had a terrible diet. It was basically a standard American diet with way too many processed and junk foods at the time. So I'm reaching for those cookies and I didn't feel good already. And probably it's why I was reaching for them, for the pleasure to feel better. But it hit me in that moment, actually, that I was sick and tired of feeling like garbage and I was about to put more garbage into my body. And then I had two kids at the time, Anthony and Nicholas, my two older boys. And as it was, I felt miserable at that time in my life. So I was really short with them and I didn't have a lot of patience with them. And it all hit me at the same time in the kitchen at that moment. And what ultimately motivated me the most to make a change at that time in my life, well, I actually lost my dad to pancreatic cancer at a very young age. He was only 42 and I was 15 at the time. And actually, I'm 43 right now. So I made it a year past my dad, which is kind of crazy to think about. But losing him that early on in my life was one of the most devastating things I've ever been through. And the kicker was, we all thought he was pretty healthy. But in reality, he wasn't really paying attention to what he ate either. So it all kind of hit me in the kitchen in that moment. And I'm like, if I continue eating like garbage, I felt like garbage. I started to feel like I had cancer in my body. Like I felt so fatigued and drained. And that was one of the symptoms he had before he passed away. And so all these thoughts started to hit me in that moment. And I'm like, I am done eating garbage. I need to start prioritizing my health a lot better and the way I'm eating much better. Well, it was on that day, actually. It was April 29th of 2016 when I made the decision that I was going to eat as healthy as I could and most anti-inflammatory foods as I could to help restore my health. And that's officially when I became fully plant-based, and it completely changed my life forever. In fact, I have endless energy all the time, and it has restored the quality of my relationships in my life, especially with my kids. I used to have no energy to play with them and do the things they wanted to do, but now I have tons of energy. I'm able to play with them. We're enjoying our time together. We have much more amazing quality time together, and I couldn't have done it if I didn't change my health at that time of my life. So ultimately, if you look at what happened to me in my kitchen that one day, I increased the pain so dramatically of eating garbage, eating junk food, eating processed foods. I increased the pain of that to the next level and to the point where it was much bigger than me. In other words, if I continued eating that garbage, I would die and it would impact my kids and my wife and my family, my friends in a very negative way. And so I increased my why to not just for me, but for my family and my friends and my loved ones, right? And now that's why I eat the way that I do. It's not even for me anymore. It's for my family. It's for my kids. Like I want to be as healthy of a version of for them so that I can show up and have the most quality time possible with them so I can live as long as I can for them. And who's to say how long we'll live? But if I have control and I can increase the quality of my years, why wouldn't I do that? Right. So that's what ended up happening for me is I really increased the pain of eating unhealthy. And that still is motivating me to this day, 8.5 years later. In fact, it will always motivate me. I don't have to find motivation to get up and eat healthy and exercise because that is it. It's the most powerful motivation there is, actually. So if you can do this for yourself, if you can really connect the dots here with what I'm sharing in today's video, it's going to change the game for you. I'm here to tell you. It literally changed my life forever and continues to do so. It's how I got super healthy, not just for a few months or a couple years, but how I've been healthy and stayed healthy for the past 8.5 years. So the two main ideas I want you to take away from today's video here, okay? Number one is, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you going after your goal? And can you increase your why to be bigger than you? Okay. Beyond you. If you can make it about your family or your friends, that is going to be much more powerful of a motivator for you than just if it's only about yourself, right? Number two is if you can increase the pain of not taking the actions towards your goals and make it even to the point of life or death, meaning like if you don't take this action, you're going to die essentially. That's going to motivate you like never before. So whether you're looking to lose weight, whether you're looking to make more money, I want you to think of it as life and death. If you don't change your habits, you're going to die. Even though that's fear casting and it goes against most of what I teach, quite honestly, as a motivator though, it's one of the most extraordinarily powerful motivators you can tap into. So that's the only time I teach stepping into this energy for yourself so that it motivates you out of it as quickly as possible. So try this out. Really write down even, what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you going after it? Make it huge. Make it way beyond you. Make it to the point that if you don't do it, you're going to let everybody else down. It's easy to let yourself down, but it's much harder to let others down. So really leverage that as a motivator for yourself. Okay. So I hope this video was very valuable for you. If it was, please make sure you like it and share it with others who might struggle finding their own motivation. I absolutely love helping people just level up in their life. And this is just one of like thousands of ideas that I can't wait to share with you guys on my page here, on my channel here. So if you love some of the ideas I talk about, make sure you also subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be posting tons more valuable content and I don't want you guys to miss it. So with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.